group could face a new under-the-radar risk that could undermine the industry within 6 months' time. We turn to Megan Caselas now for those details. Hi, Megan.
Hey, Kelly, that's right. So the semiconductor supply chain is entirely dependent on one mineral called high-purity quartz. And virtually the entire global supply of that quartz comes from one tiny town called Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Now, Spruce Pine saw 2 feet of rainfall from Hurricane Helene. And now, nearly a week later, city officials tell me that there's still no water, power, or cell service. The infrastructure is completely disrupted to the point that roads and railways are so torn up that in some areas in the western part of the state, mules are being used to transport materials in and out. So the 2 companies that operate the quartz mines there, that's Sibelco and Quartz Corp, they tell us their work has been shut down since Thursday, and Quartz Corp adds that they have no visibility as to when operations can restart. So the question becomes not just whether the mines themselves have been damaged, but also whether it's possible to get the quartz out. Disruptions would impact not only the $5 billion quartz market, but the $600 billion semiconductor market that depends on it. And that quartz is also used in solar panels, fiber optic cables, and some light bulbs, which could all see some issues as well. And Kelly, I just spoke a few minutes ago with the head of TechSet. They track the quartz supply chain. Their best guess right now is 4 to 6 weeks until things are back up and running in Spruce Pine, and that's if the roads are able to be cleared. So that alone could lead to at least minor slowdowns for the chip makers. And every day that timeline gets extended, Kelly, the impact just multiplies.
And so remind me again, when we talk about who in the chip world uses this quartz, is it pretty much everybody?
Every chip maker. So officials in Spruce Pine like to say that if you have a cell phone, if you have a computer, you have a piece of Spruce Pine with you. It's virtually the only place in the entire world that supplies this highly, highly pure quartz that's used in pretty much every semiconductor that's out there. So it was a vulnerability that was known beforehand, but now it's just, the question is really here. Before it was sort of a hypothetical, now it's a real question of what happens if they can't start to get this quartz out.
And I'm sorry, you said he thought it'd be a matter of days or a matter of weeks at this point?
They think at this point 4 to 6 weeks, but
Wow.
That estimate is dependent on the roads getting rebuilt. And the roads right now are sort of the biggest question in this part of the state. They're not just flooded, they're sort of disappeared. At some places, they're torn out of the ground. So if they can get those rebuilt quickly, that should be okay. They do think because the semiconductor market has seen a little bit of a slowdown recently in demand, that there should be some level of inventory. That's okay. But if it's anything more than about 4 weeks, I do think I've been told by experts that those ripple effects start to magnify.
Incredible to have that happening at the same time as the port strike, inflationary pressures from oil and so forth. It's a bit of a throwback. Megan, thanks. Megan Caselas. We'll continue to track that story. And speaking of the chips, some new numbers show